we are going to do some ranking of some makeup products that I've been reviewing as of late. I'm going to rank them from my absolute least favorite to my new holy grail. There are some okay products here we're going to talk about, and then there are some products that I literally don't like at all. They're probably going to go straight in the bin after this. And then we have some products that I absolutely love. And I'll start at the very bottom and we'll work our way all the way to the top. Where's the bad bin? Hold. Okay, let's start with the bad bin. This time I have makeup products, I have a couple of body care, skincare things, and I also have a fragrance that I want to talk about. And first of all, I want to mention something where I am just like, I've heard so many people say they love this, and I don't understand. I bought the Native deodorant. I got it because they did a collaboration with Arttitude. I think it's pronounced that. Am I somewhere in the neighborhood? They did, and I love pineapple. I love the scent of pineapple. It smells so nice. I did get these shower gel and I'm using that right now. These deodorants are so bad. I don't understand. First of all, this isn't antiperspirant, so I didn't expect it to be that. I wasn't expecting it to be that, but it also doesn't help with the sweat. It doesn't help with the smell. And it also just, like, it makes this like weird white film in your underarms that just peels off throughout the day. So it looks like you have like armpit dandruffs and you still smell bad. And you also sweat. And I'm just like, it's just trying to mask it with some pineapple. So it's just pineapple BO. I honestly have never tried a deodorant that just does not do anything other. This is just a perfume stick that's just trying to mask. It doesn't do anything. I know this says that it's supposed to do something, but it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything with the scent. I know it's not supposed to do anything with, like, yeah, the antiperspirant, but like there's no purpose to this. It is just a perfumed stick that just pills in your underarm, and it's just absolutely the worst deodorant I've ever tried. I'm gonna get rid of this one. I wanted to try it out because I love the scent, but it's awful. I don't get it. I'm like, if you love this, have you just never tried a good deodorant? And I don't say that to be like, oh, like, but I just don't know how people get this to work for them, because it was just a pilling nightmare and it just did not. Okay, let me get off that train because it was too much. The next thing I want to talk about is the brow pen that I tried from e.l.f. This is the Holy Strokes Microfine Brow Pen. This is too sheer and too watery. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. These pens, it's like microfine pens and you're supposed to draw in hairs. It does have a brush tip applicator, which is great. This looks very small, which it is. It does not hold a lot of product. This holds less product than other drugstore alternatives. Just letting you know about that one. This isn't good. There are better ones out there. The one from NYX is still the reigning champion. This is just sheer and watery, and I don't think this is a good product at all. You really should be saving your money. That's what I'm saying. And then we have two different highlighters. Two highlighters, very different spectrum. This is the Armani Luminous Silk Highlighter, Aqua Highlighter, and this is the L'Oreal Lumi Le Glace. This is the glassy one. There's a creamy one as well. That one I love. Let's talk about that in quite a bit. But this is the glassy one. This is oil. This is like Vaseline on the skin. It just lifts everything. If you draw it on like on its own, it lifts everything and it turns extremely sticky. Like glossy glitter Vaseline sticky. Your hair will stick to it. It is just uncomfortable on the cheeks. And there are highlighters that gives a better result than this, that doesn't feel like you have like sap on your skin. Absolutely did not like this at all. And this one, this is so expensive. This is a highlighter that I tried to wear it today, but I had to go over with foundation and a different blush and highlighter, because this one, it lifts and blends with your foundation. And I've tried this now a couple of times and what kind of formula is this? It lifts, you literally, if you put the doe foot down and then you reach for your brush and you start blending, you just have a bare spot where you put the doe foot down. And if you put it on your, like the back of your hand and blend it in, it just looks sheer. It isn't glowy enough. It is just a lot of work for a lot of money for something that's just like, it's not even that pretty of, according to me, it's not even that pretty of a highlight once you get this to work on your skin. And today, it's totally ruined my entire like foundation application. So I had to go in with foundation again. I just don't think this is a good product. This might be good if you don't wear foundation. But also, it's so expensive. It's so expensive to the point where I'm like, you can get such a more affordable, better highlighter at a drugstore. I just don't think that's worth it at all. And next is gonna be something where I'm like, this just isn't my preferred formula. And this is from WhatsApp Beauty. This is the Cheek Tear Blush. I have used, I think one of these shades I've used, and I immediately realized that this is not for me. I think it is this one. First of all, let me show you actually some B-roll where you can see all the colors together. They are too similar to each other. They're very marble, they look beautiful, but I think that they are too similar to each other. If you do 4 blush shades, I think they have to be a little bit more different than this. And I also will say this is an extremely sheer application. It is a glowy blush that I think is beautiful. Again, I love a glowy cheek, but for me, this turns into a somewhat colored subtle highlighter. I think it is too sheer to be a blush. I like a buildable formula, that is my absolute favorite, but this is just too sheer. So to the point where I'm like, I think we needed a little bit more pigmentation in this, at least according to what I like. Oh, by the way, I did film this look. It is with the new Nomad palette. I don't know if this one is available as you're seeing this video, but it did get revealed anyway. So this palette, you can use my code and get some money off. I think that this palette is releasing Tuesday, the week that you're seeing this. I don't know if that is tomorrow or if that has already happened, but I did film this look in case you're interested in what I'm wearing on my face. Next product I'm actually wearing on my skin today. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Skin Tint Stick. This, I'm pretty sure, is described as a matte stick that has like more sheer coverage. I think this is, it goes on matte, but I've only had this on for less than an hour and I'm already seeing some oils come through. So yes, it goes on matte, and for that reason, it's a little bit tuggy to blend out. I think it's a little bit heavy on the skin, even though it says it is a skin tint stick. And I don't think that this holds oils at bay. So for me, this isn't perfect for me. There's another drugstore foundation that we're going to talk about that I love. This one for me is matte. I've seen other people love it though, but for me, I think it is just a little bit tuggy on the skin, looks a little bit heavy, and yes, it is matte, but it doesn't keep matte. For me, the most important thing about foundation is not necessarily the finish it has when it goes on, is that it is resistant towards oils. I mean, it lets oils come through, which is not the end of the world. I mean, I have an oily T-zone, but I also feel like it looks heavier and heavier throughout the day the more oils that comes through. That's just my opinion about those. The next things I want to talk about are actually the lipsticks from Cosmic Beauty. These are from 2 different collections. These are, I think they're marketed as being matte lipsticks, but for me, I think that these more resemble like a satin matte finish because they're not a matte finish. They have a little bit of a creaminess to them and they don't appear super matte on the skin. I think that these, honestly, quite honestly, the products that are coming now, these are all nice products. I think for these, so far, I prefer a formula that's a little bit thinner in formulation. This one has a little bit of a thicker formula, which I know some people love that, like, you know, one swipe, it goes on. I prefer something that is a little bit more thinner in formulation. I also think that so far, none of the colors have been perfect for me, so that might be why I'm putting that a little bit lower down. I also want to say the lipstick that I have on today, and I know some people are going to be like, clutching their pearls, because how dare you put something that is at least Eldritch a little bit lower down. This is how I am gonna say this. This lipstick is so expensive. I bought this shade. I don't even know what shade I have because it's one of those like refillable lipsticks. I think this is beautiful. This is a satin cream formula. This is a light, creamy, thin formula on the lips, but is it worth this price tag? It is extremely heavy. Like if you drop this on a glass table, this component is going straight through the table. You're gonna crack that table in 0.2 seconds. I'm not convinced that this is worth that. And I think for me, I'm starting to realize I don't mind paying a little bit extra for makeup. I've realized that there are some things that are a little bit more on the expensive side that I have as favorites, and I don't mind it, but I need it to be clear to me what about it is worth that extra money. And for this, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I like the color. I like the formula. Do I like it more than other lipsticks that are $20 less? I'm gonna be honest, no. I think this is great, but so are other things that have great packaging as well for $20 less. Yes, it's refillable, but for someone who doesn't go through makeup, that is not a selling point for me. That is not a selling point for me, but it might be for you. So that is something that you have to take into like consideration. But I got this one hoping I was gonna fall in love, which I'm gonna be honest, like the formula of Lisa Eldridge is amazing. And I feel that way about her lipsticks that cost less. I just didn't think getting this hefty component that is refillable, it isn't worth that extra cost for me. But that's gonna have to be a personal thing for you. That's gonna be something that you have to like think about. Is that worth something for me? I also have the lipsticks here from Unearthly Cosmetics. These are so cool, but these are a metallic lipstick. Let me see if I can get my favorite one. It's this one. And I do have a little reel where I'm swatching all of these. This one, the ancient one, is my favorite. It is almost like a green leaning ancient, like brown metallic. It is really, really cool. I don't use metallic lipsticks enough, but I do think this is a really interesting and cool formula. What I will say, they smell a little bit like a traditional lipstick. Not really, but they definitely have like a lipstick smell to them. Maybe not like to the point that you thought now that I said that. Maybe not that, but there's definitely a smell to them that I'm not 100% fond of. But the component, again, this is a great, heavy, magnetic component. It feels and looks amazing. Metallic lipsticks, not my absolute favorite, but I love that it came in some different colors for sure. Now I'm going to talk about something that I feel is very controversial. I only have one color. I say this, I only have one color. This is the Patrick Ta. These are the Major Dimension eyeshadow duos. I have the one in Talk to My Team, which has like almost like a beigey pink, and then it has a gold pink duochrome at the bottom. These are, I mean, the discussion that's been around these. They are a flurry eyeshadow. They're 100% pearl. They're definitely not 100% pearl. There is a lot of fillers in here, but I will say the best eyeshadows are eyeshadows with great pigmentation. They are mixed with the appropriate amount of fillers. This is $42 for a duo. Is that something where I'm like, even though I do actually think that this is a good duo, I'm not gonna buy more? Because I will say, these are nice, sparkly, not emollient, not chunky, not flaky, not the oil creasing kind of a formula. This is a good formula to give sparkly eyes that you can build up or you can like sheer it out. But if you own glitter duochromes from Cleonad, if you have the special shades, or not even the special shade, but some of those like more duochrome, the formula reminds me a lot of Pat McGrath. That's what I'm trying to say. The Mothership shimmer formula and the Mothership palettes, that formula, they feel similar. They are almost dry to the touch, but not like scratchy, or they pick up like very easily on the finger. You swatch it on the surface, you get formulation really quickly, very similar to the Pat McGrath formula. But you can get a similar result from something that doesn't feel the same on the finger. And I swatched through some of my indie shadows, and the one that comes the closest in feeling to these are the glitter multichrome formulas from Cleonad. That is the closest in formulation. And those aren't affordable either. Those prices, I think they're like 20 Canadian dollars each. And of course you get a component here. He was like, oh, you get a mirror. Who's using this mirror? Who? That is not a selling point. Everybody needs to calm down. I used to say calm your titties. I've not said that in a long time, but it's very appropriate. Everybody calm your titties, okay? A mirror is not a selling point in a duo like this. But I have shadows where it's like, if you are looking for a sparkly neutral that doesn't crease, there are so many indie brands right now that are starting to do like more impactful neutral shadows. And I have heard you loud and clear when you said you want to see a video that's like interesting neutral indie palettes. I'll definitely get on that. But I just wanted to say this is good quality. And the formulation that I've felt mainstream that is closest is Pat McGrath in the Motherships. indie, I would say the glitter formula. That is not glitter, it's more like a sparkly formula from Cleonut. But there are so many shadows that when you swatch them side by side, they feel similar. If you have that Robert Welch and Blend Bunny palette that they did, they have some really impactful, shimmery, sparkly neutrals that quite honestly give a better impact on the lids than this. So I'm just saying they are out there for sure. But it's not a bad product. Like, it's not a bad product. Is it worth $42? I'm gonna let you and your tax bracket decide about that one. This is the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder. It's nice. It really does give a soft matte look to the skin. I think this is beautiful for setting under my eyes, setting on my face, but this is not mattifying enough for my T-zone. So if you do not battle with oily skin, you might really like this one because it looks beautiful on the skin. But if you have oily skin, this isn't enough. Maybe that is my full review of that powder. And next I wanted to talk about the What's Up Beauty, the Cheek Tear bronzers instead. I have the medium one, and this one is also very sheer. I'm wearing this one today, but this one can be built up, and I actually think that this is a little bit more pigment than the blush. It could also be because this one isn't shimmery. This one has, so you see some purple marble in here, so it helped with neutralizing the bronzer a bit, which can make it lean a little bit more of a pinky brown if you have a golden undertone like I do. This isn't my perfect color, but I still think that this is a really good bronzer. If you're the kind of person who likes a sheer bronzer, or if you're the kind of person that are afraid that you're gonna overdo it with bronzer, this might be a really good one. It's a nice formulation. I will link this one down below. I like this one more than the blush, but still personally I like something that has a little bit more pigmentation than this, because I had to really build it up to get the little thing that we have going on here. And if we're gonna be honest, this here, that's mostly the blush I'm wearing. I am actually wearing a little, well, I tried mixing this one with the liquid highlighter, and this is the Luminous Silk Cheek Tint in the red one. It's 41. I think that this was a really good blush. This does not lift my foundation the same way that the liquid highlighter does. So when I tried mixing these two together, I just got a hole. It was a hole on my cheek named where foundation used to live, but no longer. Like, foundation has fled these lands. I think this is much better than the highlighter. It's nice, but is it worth this price tag nice? I don't know about that. But if you are choosing between liquid formulas from Armani, I like this one way better than I like the highlighter. The highlighter was not for me. I also have to give it up to these. I've been so enjoying these. These are the Nabla lip oils. I've been talking about these. I've been trying them out. They're so lovely. I was wearing this one today. This is the lip candy oil in lychee, and I was wearing this one before today. They smell so delicious. They smell probably the best I've ever had lip oil smell. This one is honey. Oh, it smells so... If you love the smell of honey, this is the one. If you have been personally attacked by that lip oil that is on Sephora that they say is going to smell like honey but barely does, what is it called? That lip oil from Sephora that has like the honey one with the wiggly, squiggly, wiggly little container. That does not smell like honey, but oh, it smells. It smells so good. And then I think this one is grape. Yeah, the purple one. Oh, it smells like grape candy. These smell so delicious. These are more a traditional lip oil. They are not the super thin formula that just sinks into the lips immediately. These do stay on the lips a bit, but they're also not that cushiony formula like the Sigma one or the e.l.f. one that stays on the lips a little bit longer. This is like an in-between. They're also a clear. They give a really glassy feeling to the lips, but they don't stay on for forever. But I love these. They smell beautiful. They feel very nourishing on the lips. These smell so nice. I have not necessarily been in like a colored highlighters is my thing as of late, but I will say these two new highlights by Unearthly Cosmetics are really nice. So it is Just a Taste. This is from the collection that they had for the holidays, and you can see this is like it has like blood splatter in it, but you see I've used mine, so it's like I mixed them together a little bit. Both of these, and this is in Moth to a Flame. You can see this is like a pinky peach kind of a thing. Both of these have the same shift to them. They're like colored highlighters. There's like a fiery peach. The difference is that this one, because of the red splatter that is in here, has a little bit more of a rose gold peachy base to it. So it is the same fiery reddish peach shift. But this one has a little bit of a base color to it. So it almost turns into a blush highlighter hybrid on a lighter skin tone, or more as a highlighter for a tan deeper skin tone. I like to blush it like just all over my cheeks to give that like rose goldy peachy sheen. To be quite honest, these are beautiful, but somehow I have been into, I don't know what happened to me. Do you remember when I used to love like colored highlighters? Maybe this year will be the year when I fall back into, because I don't dislike them, I just don't reach for them unless I'm trying out something new. But if you like a peachy one, and I do love a peachy one, both of these colors beautiful. It's just that this one, the Just a Taste one, has just a smidgen of base color to it. I'm not the person that talks about liquid eyeshadows a lot, but I have to because I've gotten some new colors from the LH Cosmetics liquid eyeshadows, and I just wanted to bring these in again and mention these again because this is probably the best liquid eyeshadow formula that I have ever tried. Yes, bold words, because it looks like glitter on your lids, but they are not chunky. They are not an actual, like, you know, those like pressed glitters from 2015. I remember, you remember, we all remember, those weren't very comfortable, especially not if you have a hooded lid like me. It's just crusty within there, absolutely not. These are beautiful colors, very high intensity. You can draw them on immediately. You can blend them on with your finger or your brush. I wore the pink one. I wore for New Year's together with like a burgundy crease. It's really, really beautiful. And quite honestly, it is a beautiful formula. You can sheer it out, you can build it up. It doesn't crease, it doesn't lift or like destroy the eyeshadow that you have together. And the colors are beautiful. There are more colors available than these as well. So I just wanted to let you know, if you do love liquid eyeshadows, these ones from LH Cosmetics are great. I also really enjoyed this liquid blush from NARS. I will say though, they are a little bit more on the sheer side. And this one is a little bit glowy. This one is in, of course, it is in Orgasm. Like, what did you think? What did you think was gonna happen? So it is that like peach that has a gold sheen to it. I will say that these are very easy to blend out. They did not lift my foundation. They blended out really beautifully. I just wish they were a smidgen more, had a little bit more of pigment to them. But if you are the kind of person that have tried a bunch of those like liquidy blush colors that are super, super pigmented, and you wanted something that's maybe a little bit easier to work with, this one is a little bit more forgivable because it is a pretty sheer color. It doesn't come in that many different shades, but maybe that's something to think about. It is a beautiful formula that it does not lift your foundation. I thought it was really pretty. I also really have been enjoying the Sephora Reveal the Real. This is their soft radiant skin tint. This is really beautiful on the skin. It looks like a natural finish. It is a light to medium coverage. I have it in the shade 190Y Light, which is a fairly decent match for me. Usually like Sephora collection always has like deals going on and sales going on. I would almost like say don't buy it on full price because you could probably get it on a deal. But I think that this one is really nice. It looks really fresh on the skin. It just looks, it evens out your skin tone. It doesn't look like I said that this one does. It doesn't look heavy or visible on the skin. It's just a really nice, easy to wear. This one, it doesn't keep me like control my oils for like 12 hours, but it definitely, if I were the person that would like do my makeup and go to work, this would definitely look really nice. I could just blot a little bit around lunch and it would take me all the way through the day. So I do really think that this is a really nice one. And I've also heard that people have dry skin really enjoy this one too. So it seems to work for several different like skin concerns. I gotta say, I didn't know what I was gonna expect from these Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Balms by Colourpop, but I actually really enjoyed them. They are pretty liquidy, but they do have a little bit more of a cushiony formula on the lips. They look really glossy and pretty on the lips. They have a sheer color, no glitter. They smell beautifully. This is the chocolate milkshake. It smells like chocolate. I do have the watermelon one. It is currently in my handbag. That's when you know that you like it, when it's in your handbag. So it gives you a sheer wash of color. It's really beautiful on the lips. It does nourish your lips. It's very easy to like get it out of the tube. And I think that they did really good with these. Sometimes when you see these like affordable, I don't want to call it dupes because I feel like we're using the word dupe a little bit too loosely, but you can tell that these are very inspired by the craze that's been going on with those squeezy tubes by Naturium, Rhode, Sunday, Fridays. Huh? What is that brand called? I don't remember, but you know what I mean. All of those brands are having those squeezy tubes lip balms with different flavors and different scents and different colors. You could tell that this one is very inspired by that trend, and I think they did good with it. If you don't want to spend as much money but still join in on the trend, I think Colourpop did a really good job. I really would recommend them. Another thing that I really did enjoy is the Makeup Revolution. This is the Peach Pop Beam Bright blush. These are beautiful. I remember when I tried this highlighter, I think that was in 2020. I think it might have been the beginning of last year, actually, the beginning of 2024. And I didn't like the highlighter because I thought that it was not wet looky or highlighty enough on the skin, but as a blush with a base color, this formulation is stunning. I really like this color. That's the Peach Pop. It has this really beautiful sheen on the skin that gives you a glow, because I love a glowy blush, but I don't want it to be too metallic or too visible, because sometimes we get into that where it's just a visible, like, overbearing metallic stripe on your cheeks. And I think this one is a beautiful happy middle. I think this is really beautiful and also quite affordable. So I will link this one down below. Another one that I like even more is actually the metallic blush formula from MAC. This is from the holiday collection. It is in Coveted Coral. This is what I wore also a little bit on top when I was trying to salvage that wreck that highlighter did on my foundation. Beautiful. I use this with a brush. It goes on so stunning. It's so easy to blend out. It goes on sheerly. It gives a wash of a warm coral with just the right amount of like sparkle or metallicness. It is not glittery, it is not overbearing, it is just beautiful and blendable and wonderful on the skin. And I'm kind of like, do they have more of this cream blush formula in metallic, or is it only the ones that came out for the holiday collection? Because this was the only color of those that I wanted, but this one is nice. Nice. The only thing what I would say is the packaging feels very flimsy packaging. Like flimsy, like this feels better than this. And I don't, okay, listen, you know that you are bottom of the barrel plastic component when I'm holding up Makeup Revolution and says that this feels like more luxurious. I said what I said. This is a product that I really did not think that I was going to enjoy the way that I do, but I think this is beautiful. Let me talk back to back about two products that are perfect if you're like me, you want a glowy, fresh looking skin that looks glowy, that looks like fresh, not flat, almost that little sheen to it, but you have oily skin. And you just cannot do those like glowy, moisturizing, dewy, greasy things. It just does not work for you. My first favorite is the gripping primer from Milk that is the glowy version. It is so good. This performs exactly like the gripping primer, but it has a warm, this like warm, peachy, goldy, pearly sheen to it. If you use this one before a skin tint, a tinted moisturizer, or something that could need a little grip to it, something that is not fully opaque, that would let the pearls shine through, you will get that glowy, sheeny, fresh looking, you know, the glowy base that is not dewy, greasy, but still glowy, but it's still a gripping primer and it doesn't help like produce a lot of those oils. I think this is a genius. I think this is a genius product, and I would not be surprised if you see e.l.f. duping this. This is my makeup prediction 2025. e.l.f. is going to come up with their version of this, a gripping primer with shimmer. I'm telling you right now. I've been really enjoying the new powder by Glamlike. It took me a really long time to try this one. This is the Bake and Set in Translucent, and it is a really big tub, and it comes, and there is a sifter in here. Doesn't smell like anything. It smells like ingredients. I'm wearing this on my face today. I didn't wear it too much, like I didn't bake in my T-zone, but as you can see, this one does keep it works under my eyes, it works all over my face, it does keep the oils at bay, but of course it can't perform magic with foundations like this one that I already feel is not keeping my oils at bay. But I actually really enjoy this powder, and this is a powder that I actually, which is something that I like to do. If I want to keep my makeup on all day, I will do a puff and I will bake around my nose, in my in the middle of my forehead and on my chin. In my T-zone where I know the oils will break through, I will just bake a little bit, not under my eyes. Listen, my eyes are already creasy. I do not need to be baking my under eyes. I'm not trying to look like a 200-year-old lizard. Just my T-zone. But this one works really good for that, because even if you're baking, it brushes off really beautifully. It does not change the color of anything underneath, and it really, really works for baking your T-zone, and I think it does a great job. I did not do that today though, but I will say I have been enjoying this powder, and I'm kind of kicking myself for taking so long to try it, because I think the powder is beautiful. I also really have been enjoying, I said I was going to talk back to back, but I actually do really love this one even more than I love the Glam Light powder, because this is so genius. But these are the two glowy like products I was talking about. If you like a glowy skin but you have oily skin, this is the new powder by e.l.f. What is it called? The Halo Glow Powder Filter. I have mine in light neutral. So this one comes with a puff, and I think that they maybe are intending you to use this with a puff to make it a little bit more like full coverage on the skin. That is not how I use this at all. And I don't use this under my eyes, because this is a fairly glowy powder, and it does give a little bit of a glow to it. Not metallic, not that weird gray cast that the melt powder had going on, but it is absolutely beautiful. It is such a stunning powder. I use this with a fluffy brush, and I finish off my face with this one. It just gives glow back to your face, but you're using powders. So you are not putting something on your skin that has oils or moisture. It's going to start breaking down the layers, and it's going to take away the thing that keeps the oils at bay. This is still a powder, and I think this is beautiful. It works stunning for me, and I've been loving finishing off my makeup with this. I did finish off, especially over here after that catastrophe happened, I did finish off my entire face with this today, and I think it works beautifully. I'm very impressed with it. Have I used it with the poof? No. This has been a setting my entire face finishing powder for me. This has not been like a foundation powder for me. That's not how I've been using it. I'm sure you could, but just not me. Let's talk about the skincare product that I'm using that I've been so impressed by. This is how much I've been using it. And this is the Papaya and Vitamin C Ginger Root Lactic Acid Exfoliate and Brighten Superfood Cleanser. This is from Youth to the People. This does say exfoliate and brighten cleanser. And this is for me a morning cleanser or a second step cleanser when I'm doing my makeup. This does not have any exfoliating particles in it. So the exfoliating part is the lactic acid, which again, the longer you keep it on your skin, the more you're gonna get of that exfoliating. If you keep it a shorter time on your skin, you're gonna get it shorter time. For me, this really makes my skin feel clean and clear without stripping all of the moisture. I have heard though, some people with dry skin think that this is too much. Again, I do not have dry skin. I wake up in the morning feeling like I want to wash off some oils off my skin, and I just think this is beautiful. And also it smells like a fruit smoothie. It smells so fresh, like a fresh tropical smoothie, and I've been really enjoying this one. Yeah, you can tell. I've been really enjoying this one, and I think this one is great. This is, to me, I like this one better than the other cleanser from Youth to the People. And I mean, I don't do a lot with my skin, I will say. You will not catch me having a 10-step skincare routine. It's not my journey, but I do try to take care of my skin. I do try to listen to my skin, like what things it likes and what things it doesn't like. And my skin really likes this one, and it's been working really good. No breakouts. My skin is feeling very clear, and it's not having a lot of texture or little bumps on it. So I really like it, and I wanted to let you know, if you have the similar skin type than me, if you're making an order from Sephora, really like that one. I also really love this one. This is where the other highlighter from L'Oreal is coming in. So this is Lumi Le Glow highlighter, and this one is, it has a little bit more, instead of the glassy finish, this feels more like a cream highlighter. It does not have that oily Vaseline kind of a base, and this is beautiful on the skin. This gives me that visible glow, but not overbearing, it looks too made up kind of a glow, because I want my skin to look glowy. I want there to be a highlight, but I also don't want it to be looking like, again, like a metallic. This looked like a very glowy, wet look on the skin. I just thought this was beautiful. I really enjoyed this one. I have been using this with a brush and I've been brushing on the stick and then on my skin. Absolutely love it. This one, together with this powder, together with number 3 on my list, which is the L'Oreal Lumi Le Glow tint. That combo has been delightful, and I have been having to force myself to stop using those 3 products together because I've been like, girl, there are other things that needs to be reviewed, okay? Because today I was doing your makeup, I'm like, oh, I can wear this one again. And I was like, no, you actually have to wear that other stick again just to see, do you really feel like it looks heavy on the skin going on? And yes, I do. This one is beautiful though. This reminds me a lot. Remember how I used to rave about that skin tint from Becca that they released just before they went under? And I'm like, how dare you release the most beautiful skin tint in the world and then just disappear. This one is, it has a visible glow to it. Like if you look closely, if you put it on your hand, you look closely, there is a visible glow to this, but it doesn't look like metallic on the skin, but it gives that beautiful glow, but it does dry down, not to a powdery finish, more that like it feels like skincare, but it's not sticky, but it looks incredibly beautifully glowy on the skin, without looking sparkly, glittery, or metallic. I have this in the shade 200 Neutral, which is a fairly good shade for me. I'm a light medium neutral with a slight golden undertone, and this works fairly good for that. I think this is beautiful. This is a light coverage. I love how this looks on the skin. For me, it doesn't break up with oils, and it doesn't really produce it doesn't make my skin produce a lot of oils over the day either. It actually holds up really good over like the course of the day. I've worn this for 12 hours without feeling like, because if something is greasy, I'm like, oh my god, I want to wash this off my face immediately. And I did not feel like that with this. It looks beautiful throughout the entire day, and I really liked how my skin looked with this. I love it. I don't know what to say. I love it. Number 2 on the list is the concealer that's probably impressed me the most of any concealer that I've tried as of late. And this is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. I don't know why I haven't tried this before. It is such a good concealer. This has quickly become one of my favorite concealers in my collection. I have it in the shade, I think 250. It is beautiful. I'm fairly sure it's what I have on my under. I'm like, did I use this one? I did. Beautiful concealer. It is a medium to full coverage, and I actually, with this one, it doesn't crease on me even if I end up using a little bit more. For me, the biggest problem with concealer is it creasing and bunching up and just looking heavy in my under eyes. This is full coverage, but it still has that somewhat liquidy, serumy feeling to it without being too liquidy to give coverage and without being too thick so it's like just looking heavy and bunching up on my under eyes. There is magic in this concealer. It is magic in this concealer. Absolutely love it. If you have the same tasting concealers as me and you're looking for a new concealer, get this one. Blown away. I have to say though, because at the top spot, I'm actually going to put something that I mentioned in my yearly favorites last year, and I just wanted to mention it again because I think this is just so beautiful, and I have been wearing and testing these out for quite a bit, but I instantly fell in love with this one, so I did mention it in my yearly favorites, but I want to mention it again just to let you know that I still love it, and I still stand by my quick inclusion of that one in my yearly favorites, and that is actually one of the fragrances from Mars Stay. Marlena Stell started her own fragrance brand last year, and she sent me the Discovery set, which I very much would recommend to you if you want to try out the brand. They do have a Discovery set where you can get all 3 of them, all 3 of the fragrances and all 3 of the extracts. I think it's called like that. I might be saying that incorrect. You're probably giggling at the screen. You're like, what is she trying to say? This is one of the perfumes though, but you can get a Discovery set with all 6 of them together just so you can try them out. And this is Un Nuit Parisienne, so it's like a Parisian night. Girl, oh, it's so good. This is the darkest and most spicy and mysterious fragrance in the line. I will say a lot of the fragrances in there, they are leaning a little floral, which is what most people love. not my personal favorite. I think they're very well made, but florals are never gonna be my favorite. I will say the cap, this is glass. It looks and feels very luxurious. This is metal, again, looks and feels very luxurious. This is black tea, chai spices, and there is, I think it is like vanilla and like bourbon or something in here. But to me, this is almost, if I'm gonna describe what does this smell like, this is almost like Replica's Jazz Club, but make it a little bit more chai spicy and with a very visible tea. Like there's like tea leaves in there. So it's such an interesting scent. It almost reminds me of Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford as well, but again, a little bit more spicy and with that tea thing going on. It's just so incredibly sexy, spicy. This is date scent. This is date night scent. This is signature scent. This could very easily become someone's signature scent because it is like sweet, spicy, that tea thing. Ugh. And that like boozy thing. I don't think there's tobacco in there, but you definitely can almost get it. There's almost something like a little zesty or citrusy in there as well. It is just absolutely beautiful. And there you have it. Those are my rankings of some things that I have been trying as of late. I know there were no eyeshadow palettes mentioned here because I'm gonna do a separate eyeshadow palette ranking. I do have a couple that I'm like trying my way through right now. I try to make sure to like form somewhat of an opinion about stuff before I get on here and tell you this is my favorite, because you can always love something at first impression or you can hate something at first impression. And usually I will say whatever I tend to like immediately or hate immediately, it's very rare that changes, but sometimes it does change a little bit. So please let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you very soon in a new video. Bye!